So the first card in the center of the deck here is the Ace of Pentacles, which indicates to me brand new jobs or money that is coming into you. Okay, so there's this a lot of, for a lot of you it could be money coming in or money coming out. So I definitely feel a job is on the table for you. A job is on the offering for a lot of you, and I feel like this is a quite a competitive job. It means that I'm sensing a lot of people might be vying for this position. So you are on track to get this job, to get this promotion, or to advance up in the career ladder, okay, the corporate ladder. And I definitely feel like you've worked really, really long and hard, and you are eyeing this position, and you are feeling as if, like you deserve it. And I feel like a lot of you have struggled on, have worked really hard to get where you are, and you are one step away from this promotion or this new job that's on the table. I feel that this is a job that's going to be in the picture for you. I do sense that you are bound for, you're basically getting yourself on track for this very spectacular either promotion or a job that's on the table. And I feel like the decisions won't be coming in for this month, but I feel like for the next 4 months, it's going to be discussed, and they're looking at everybody's portfolios. They're looking at all the candidates, and they're trying to decide the best one. And I feel like you have enough on your I feel like you have enough on your plate. I feel you have enough on your resume and enough experience to really apply for this job, land this job, and to get this job, and to be in a very financially stable state with this job under your belt. Okay, so I definitely feel you're eyeing something and you're due for a promotion, and you're gonna have to work, push yourself a little bit. I don't want to say push yourself harder, but I feel like it's not in the bag just yet. Okay, like don't rest on your laurels. Just continue to fight another day in order to secure this job. I do feel something coming through in January and February of 2017 as well, which indicates to me like something culminating and something coming full circle as it relates to job and finances. Okay. For others of you, if you have been out there looking for work, I definitely feel something like that coming through for you. I feel like it's a little bit of a step down if you are like looking in a brand new environment, if you're like changing your careers and things like that. I feel like they want you to hold out for something, a better offer. So whatever offer is on the table, I feel like it's in your best interest to try to negotiate for a better terms of employment. So that means, increased salary, additional perks, healthcare even. There is definitely wiggle room and room for negotiation as it pertains to a job, a new job situation, because I feel like the people around you are looking at you as if you are a very desirable candidate. So it's that, they do want you on board. And I feel like there's room here for you to negotiate and get the outcome that you want, okay? For others of you, I feel like heavy energies regarding contracts, regarding legal issues, legal matters, finalizing legal matters, and things like that. So let me just say, if you are dealing with an air sign, Aquarius, Gemini, and a Libra, I feel like if this is somebody that you are struggling when it comes to some type of legal issue with, okay, I feel like this person is a little bit stubborn. They're very fixed in their ways, and they're not budging. I feel like that's the case, okay? There might be money coming from you to this person, either alimony, compensation. I feel like child support for some of you. I don't see children heavily in this spread, but I do feel like a family unit that needs to be divided up. So assets and things like that, things need to be liquidated so that you can split things both ways. And I feel like there's still some entanglements where, the other person wants this amount, you want this amount, you want things to be fair, 50-50. The other person feels like, no, I've got the kids, so, I'm going to need more. So there's that back and forth. Once again, so I feel like negotiations are coming through, and there is definitely room for wiggle room. There's space to wiggle and to like really negotiate, to really bargain. So don't give up without a fight. I feel like you can negotiate better terms, okay? I feel like overall you are dealing with somebody who is a little bit stubborn. They are I feel like they're turning their back. They're just like, I really can't go through this again. I just want things to end. I just want things to be done and over with. And I feel like it seems to me like a lot of you are coming in and you're making like a peace offer. That's what it feels like to me. And the other person turns their back, you get defensive, and then this back and forth all over again. So just be mindful of that energy when they are turning their back. It basically means that emotionally, mentally, and physically they are exhausted. So if you can try to suggest, can we talk about this another day when you're not feeling like this? And leaving that up to them to decide, that's going to be better. So rather than, I feel like energies and emotions are highly charged for you guys this month. Okay, it's a little bit of a, I feel like feelings and emotions and passions, everything is like very intense, and it's highly combustible. So passion is flaring and emotions are running high. And these are good or bad, but I feel like it's just, if you're dealing with this person and you feel like they're being very stubborn and you feel like there's a better way for them to handle this, I honestly think that they're just really, they're tired. So if you can suggest to them, can we resume this discussion another day when you're not tired? And I feel like likewise, if someone is coming in with a peace offering and you're just like, I'm really tired, I don't want to deal with this, then tell them, let's talk about this another day. I just can't right now in my state of mind, okay? And that's going to appease them and that will de escalate the tension in this situation, okay? So keep that in mind. The energy is running from the 15th to the 30th. So I'm publishing this early because I feel like it might be helpful for some of you who are going through this so that you can plan accordingly and that you can, avert certain things that are coming through. Because, the whole point of these tarot readings is to present to you the energies that are coming through so that you can try to mitigate the effects and de-escalate a lot of the potential pitfalls that are coming through, okay? And problematic problematic encounters with other people and certain energies. So keep that in mind. We do have a lot of wiggle room here so that you can, pull things together in a way that would work for you. What I'm also feeling is that I mentioned with the monthly reading, there's a lot of temptation around you. I feel that energy is still pervasive through the next 2 weeks, okay? So first of all, I feel like there's a person, and I'm not going to go into specific genders here because there are all kinds of Scorpios, and people date different genders, and people identify with different genders than the one that they were born with. So let's just say there is, I feel like, a darker skinned person, okay? Somebody who is really attractive. And the thing about, beauty, it's very subjective, but I feel like with this person, there's something unique about them. Like, I feel like darker complexion, very exotic, possibly from a different cultural, ethnic, linguistic background than you are. And I feel like they've been in the picture for quite some time. It's a very on-off energy. Like, you might have talked to them and then you might have gone a long period of time without talking to them, and then you might see them again. So I feel like they've been in and out, for a long stretch of time. I feel like they're saying to me something about like someone who's very spiritual, okay? Very spiritual. They work in the healing profession. So I don't know if they're a therapist, if they're a doctor, if they're a nurse, if they're like, I feel like they're doing something in the healing profession. And their energy is a lot stronger this month. And I feel like this is somebody that you've been eyeing from afar. And I feel like the feelings are very mutual. Like the feelings are being reciprocated between you and this other person. I feel like darker skin, darker hair, darker complexion, someone quite exotic. And I feel like this person has always been a temptation for you because I've been reading for Scorpio, this energy is quite strong. Like it's been around for a few months and then it disappears and then it comes back and it's always the same card. It's quite interesting. So there's something like that coming through. And I feel like, in the past, they have always been there. And I feel like you were trying to get your life sorted out, okay? You were trying to like rebuild your foundation. You were trying to, a lot of you are in the teaching profession. You were trying to disseminate knowledge. You were trying to, you know, maintain things in your own life. And you have entertained the thoughts that, you know, this is a person that you really like. And I feel like there's a strong physical sexual attraction. I feel that for sure. And I feel like for a lot of you, you don't know this person very well. And a big part of you is like, a little bit scared, a little bit apprehensive about, you know, getting involved with this person. Because I feel like on some type of innate level, maybe culturally, ethnically, you might just be very different. Maybe even religiously, you might not have the same religious upbringing. You might, you know, you might want to raise your kids a specific way. They might want to raise their kids a specific way. So there are many challenges to getting this relationship off the ground. But I feel like this person has been in and out of the picture, okay? And the attraction is definitely there. I feel honestly the attraction is really strong from their end, meaning that they're really attracted to you. They are really, they really do like you. And I feel like, you know, all they need is like a sign, all they need is like a signal for them to come to you. But I feel like your interest in them is waning, okay? It's like dissipating slowly, slowly. And I don't know why that is, but I feel like the other person is there, and I feel like it's somebody who's very different from you, who's darker, who's like very exotic is what I'm getting. And they're very financially stable as well. They're really on top of their game when it comes to finances. And I feel like you might feel that you are not as financially sound as they are. And you might feel like you're not where you are professionally, financially, so you might not want to get involved with them. So you don't know how this is going to get off the ground, and so you put it on the back burner. And you know, you've always put it on the back burner. You forget about them, and then certain months, you know, something would trigger this memory of this person and they come back up. So it's kind of weird. And the thing here is that I feel like you should reach out and, you know, try to like I guess like straighten out the situation with that person, because I feel like things have been left kind of hanging, you know, like there wasn't any closure. Things were not wrapped up nicely and let go of, because I feel like this energy, it's like, you know, a cord of attachments is what I'm feeling here. So that's coming through, and that's something you should try to resolve, okay? Because I feel like you're wrapping up everything else in your life, you know, professionally, even romantically, and you're in a good space, and there's this person. So that's another thing. A lot of you are just, you know, trying to stay afloat. I feel like a lot of responsibilities on the job front, a little bit of conflict on the work front as well that you're grappling with. A lot of you are not, I feel like you don't want to rock the boat. You want to just like, I want to live in peace. I want to mind my own business. I want to go through the day without too much mishaps. I just want to, you know, do my 9 to 5, go home, watch a little bit of TV, play with the kids a little bit, put them to sleep, relax, and then, you know, repeat the next day. And that is the existence that you want: predictability, stability. And it might not sound like the most exciting thing, but I feel like a lot of you have gone through a lot of excitement, for good or bad, within the past few months, where you just like, I want a normal life, you know, I just want to go through the minutia of the day, like to just be left alone, and you know, to have things flow smoothly. So you don't really want to kick up a fuss over things. You don't want to like try anything new, is what I'm feeling. Okay. And I'm gonna say this too. A lot of the times when, you know, situations are all happening, bubbling up around us, and we start to want to cocoon ourselves, and we start to want to like withdraw so that we can make sense of everything else, and also so that we are not swept away by other people and other problems outside of ourselves. So I feel like that's what you're doing. You're going through a period of like self-preservation. You just want things to be stable, status quo, and you don't really want to kick up a fuss. success. And a lot of you are waiting on, new jobs, and you're trying to decide for your future long term where you need to be, what you need to be doing. So you don't really honestly have space for another person. And I feel like you might have many suitors. You might have people that are taking warm interest in you. And I do sense that for a lot of you, there is an air sign, Aquarius, Gemini, and Libra. And there's this other person, possibly an earth sign, Taurus, Virgo, Capricorn, possibly an earth sign. And then there's also, a very stubborn fire sign, very, very stubborn, very like a little bit argumentative. They really want to coax you out of your shell, and they really want to like, show you a good time. But I feel like you're at the point right now where responsibilities are piling up, and you might not have enough time to do all of these fun things and to live vicariously. So I feel like, yes, you want to do these things. Yes, you want the excitement, but realistically, you have to moderate yourself. And I feel like you're responsible enough to know when you need to withdraw to handle things on your own. Okay. So I feel like there's a little bit of a loner vibe, not because people aren't there, but because you need to withdraw inward so that you can figure some things out. What I'm also feeling is what I'm also sensing is that if there has been somewhat of like if you have been recently, separated from a spouse. So the separation might have gone on for a really, really, really long time, and both of you are drifting apart. Both of you are like, obviously, you want to get the divorce. And, your ex-spouse is seeing another person, you're seeing somebody else, or at least, you're no longer in love with one another. And I feel like you're still legally married by name or on paper for financial reasons. And a lot of you are just like, oh, this is comfortable, so I'm just going to leave it alone. But I feel like your new person or their new person is like pushing for that final, for the divorce papers to be signed. They're pushing for something a little bit more because they feel insecure in the relationship with you, or the other person that you're dealing with, the partner of your ex-spouse that you are not divorced from, is pushing for some type of severance because they're feeling insecure. They're feeling shaky. But I feel like you and that spouse, if you're separated, you're not getting back together. There's definitely attraction, but you're not in love anymore. And you don't see yourself back together, but I feel like you're still legally bound together because of the kids, because of financial reasons. And now there is a big push for you to sever those ties, sign those papers, and to move on. And I feel like in an energetic way, any type of lingering contracts between you and another person that doesn't need to be there, it is going to create some blockages. So it is actually in your best interest to try to sort this out and cut those ties. Okay, cut those ties, because I feel like there are some blockages coming through as a result of these residual ties, loose ends that are not severed. So first of all, I have the Justice card reverse, which is that contract. I have the Judgment card in the reverse, which is that new beginnings cannot be had until you sever the old. Okay, so even if you're not in love, there's still that energetic cord of attachment between you and another person that you need to sever. And then I do have the Chariot reverse, which is like the Victory card. And there's like that stalled energy coming through. So we have three major arcana cards that are indicating to me cord of attachment issues that needs to be severed. So no matter how you splice it, there's definitely something here that needs to be finalized. You're trying to maintain everything and stay afloat. And you haven't really given this much thought, but I do feel that it's in your best interest to take a step back, especially during this Mercury in retrograde period that's going to run until the 22nd, to really re-examine the situation and save yourself from these energetic blockages by severing these ties. Okay, that's going to be very important for you. We do have the Star card coming through here, which is a whole phase about healing. Okay, so healing family issues, healing childhood wounds, and healing family issues. So that could be, being raised in an environment where there was a lot of strife with the father figure, I feel specifically. So if you have like if you're raised in like a single parent household, for example, and your mother was taking care of you, there might have been some resentment with the father, and that needs to be, dealt with, okay? So allow yourself that room to forgive or come to terms with it and realize that, whatever happened between the parents, that's not your fault, okay? That's the karma between the parents. So then after that, we do have some healing happening in your immediate family. So for example, if like going back to if you have children, if you have been married, especially if you have created a home for yourself with another person and for whatever reason it didn't go as planned. It wasn't stable, or it just fell apart for whatever reason that is. You have to forgive yourself. You did the best that you could, given the circumstances. A lot of you, I feel like, might have gotten married very young, might have had children, and then felt compelled to get married. And I feel like you are blaming yourself, or you're blaming the spouse for the demise of that relationship. And it's not really going anywhere. And it takes two. So obviously I feel like a lot of you were quite young when you had children, and then you felt pressure to get married, or you might have like met somebody, fell madly in love, but you were very young and you tried your best and it didn't work out. And I feel like you need to heal that relationship, because I feel like some of you might also um, like you might not believe in love anymore as a result of that doomed relationship, or you might not feel like I never want to get married again, or like you might have like commitment issues as a result of the trauma that you've been in as a from the family, the childhood home, or from the home that you were hoping to create for yourself. So either way, I feel a lot of healing, a lot of therapeutic breakthroughs. If you have been seeing a therapist, if you have been seeing a consultant, I feel like something like that coming through, where you're going to realize you're going to release all this emotional baggage, and you're going to realize that we all did the best that we could. We were just not seeing eye to eye. I was just with the wrong person, for example. So I feel all of that is coming through. The blame game is no longer here in this spread, and I think that's really good. And that whole phase about accepting things that we can't change, that's coming through for the next 2 weeks. So I do feel it's a relatively therapeutic, soothing energy that's coming through for you Scorpios, if you allow it, okay? So once again, don't be too hard on yourself. I feel like everyone try their best, okay? um the one last thing I'm sensing here is there's going to be some final decision. I feel like if as it pertains to like a home, a marriage, or a divorce, okay? Some finality, some that last nail on the coffin. Something is being decided on for good for this month, and it's going to be quite therapeutic for you to be free from it, okay? I see you physically like freeing yourself. So it's a really beautiful energy. I wish you the best, Scorpio.